So my job, I am a commercial renewable energy manager. So I manage utility scale and commercial scale, wind, solar, and battery. And so I've been doing that for 15 years plus. And I said, I really would like to go in there and expand my renewable footprint here and get off the grid a little bit so I don't have so much dependency on the actual grid here in Texas. I really knew a lot about the processes and about what it would cost. And so I put out an RFQ, or request for quote, to about 8 different companies. And I got wild quotes coming back. I mean, some of them were 30% higher, 50% higher than Gary. Some of them were lower than Gary, but only serviced about half of what Gary was proposing. And so I knew what my building was, I knew what my actual usage was, and so I knew what the size should be roughly. And so whenever I talked to Gary, he said, well, my calculations say that you should be around here. And I said, yeah, it should be. So that's kind of how we netted up and said, okay, we're gonna go in there and use Gary. Whenever Gary came over the first time, he showed up, he pulled out his drone, he flew it over the house, figured out, okay, what kind of shade are we gonna have in certain times of the day? He looked at all the different aspects of how he could position the solar cells on my house. And then he came down and says, okay, we could do this. And so I started asking him questions that I know from my business. And within 30 seconds of talking to him, I said, yeah, this is the guy that's putting the solar on my house, because he knew exactly the answers that I was asking questions for. I probably couldn't recommend Gary enough. I've recommended him on my LinkedIn channel. I've recommended him to anybody and everybody. He has sent countless people over here to come and look at my system, look at the installation, ask me about my experience. I would definitely, if I had another house, I would have Renergy go in there and install it on there too.